Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Babblesy, episode 389. I'm Chris Adams, Tech and Master, joined by.
RPG Maniac 05.
Traptical.
So yeah, we've got some Whatcha been playing, some tips, and some news.
Tips.
It's an acronym. If you don't know what it stands for, we'll get to it later. Let's see. So, for me, on the handheld front, I did play some more Radiant Historia. That being said, I didn't get very far because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the daylight savings time, if it's the season, if it's the weather. I don't know. Just like it's not. It can't be like all those things. But like I don't know. Sometimes at work, but lately it's like all the time at work. I will just like doze off on my lunch hour and like not get any gaming in. So it's like I'm falling asleep and then I'll constantly be dozing off, and it's just like, just not very productive gaming thing, and just like, just keep seeing, my actual screen fade to black, and then be like, oh, what happened? I was asleep? Whoa. What was I doing? Oh, I was playing. Oh, what happened? Oh, and then, stuff happened.
That's called getting old.
It's weird. Like, I've been very sleepy recently as well. And so it might be daylight saving time.
Or it might be because your guys are old. So there's that.
RPG, I think you're somewhere in between us.
Nope, I'm actually younger than Tegan.
Oh. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think, well, for me, it's partially been, like, the weather has given me hope. Oh, cool, it's warm, and then suddenly it'll, like, snow, and I have to go out and shovel. And that is just, like, incredibly demoralizing.
How is that demoralizing?
Because you think it's over, and then it's not over. In fact, it's worse.
But I mean, people all over the country shovel snow all the time because it's like a thing or something. I don't know. I just work here, man. But it's like, I don't know.
Well.
But I did get to the part where they're like, you can't tell anybody about this book, it's a secret, and then like, don't tell anybody about this, it's a secret, so there's like secrets and stuff, and then you're all like, I can go back in time, oh, but I can't, just not do not things, because there's, or not consequences, but like, if stuff happens to me, it still happens, so I can't just be like, whatever, dude, I'll just go back in time, and it won't happen. It doesn't work like that, so yeah.
It gets worse.
Oh my.
It gets worse.
So yeah, the first, I guess, case or whatever, and then, now I'm at the part where you go back and you can actually switch the thingy, but I haven't, or there's something it's called, I don't know what it's called, and it's like a specific thingy, and I got to that, and then, stopped there. So that's pretty much that for Radiant Historia. I have nothing but good things to say so far, so, I mean, that being said, I'm not very far at all. I'm like 3 hours in or something, so that would be very, amiss of me to say anything like that. Besides that, I played some more Arkham Asylum, and I gotta say, I've grown very, very, very much on this game. Like, I used to be like, you know what, Arkham City all the way, well, not Arkham, I mean, okay, I'm gonna kind of like break it down into 3 games, because it's like, Asylum has like the good scenario or setup, City has the best storyline, and Origins has the best gameplay, and Arkham Knight is just a turd. So,
Yay!
So sad.
replaying this one, and I like on the PS4, and like the delicious new super sampled deliciousness on 1080p that I can't get on a 4K since I don't have 4K. On my Pro, I was like, man, this looks amazing, and then like the atmosphere is like just even better, and like all the rain and the lightning and like the thunder on like the environments and the indoors when you're just like creeping on the henchman, and they're like, oh man, Batman's out there to get me. It's just like, it just what's that word called? Re-supports the whole, Batman's here on an island, and you're stuck with him. You think he's stuck with you, but you're stuck in here with him.
Oh dear.
And it's like all his villains are there, and then stuff goes down. It's like, it's really really good. The claustrophobicness of it just makes it a really good setup and scenario. Like I said, just like it makes me like respect Arkham Asylum, respect. Just you are one of the chosen ones. That is not Arkham Knight. And then
I like how it just is. It's all one. It's supposed to be all one night.
yeah, that too.
Whereas like Arkham City is like it's supposed to be one night too, but it feels like how is that possible?
It's like, yeah, there's too much going on.
Arkham Origins is like that too, because it's New Year's Eve and it's like all
yeah,
the dudes are out to
they're all
get him,
supposed to be one night.
and it just escalates into oh my goodness, and just like wow, that was awesome, and just man,
Batman
But
secretly has super
Asylum
speed.
actually feels like oh, it could be one night.
yeah, it's very like it's very atmospheric and then claustrophobic, and then all the things that happen are very one to one. Like this happens and that happens, that happens, that happens is very causal and like oh point to point to point. And then as I was playing this time and I was getting all the Riddler thingies to unlock all the extra challenge rooms that I hadn't done before, and I got to hear all the tapes and stuff. It's like oh that's why the Doctor was doing that thing, or like oh okay, and then like it just adds on top and it's like oh okay, so it's like it added that extra layer I did not have before.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
Wait.
I like Arkham Asylum, and I see why people like it more than City, but I would never like it more than City. But now I can see.
Did you
okay,
get everything this
not
time?
yet, but man, like
Oh, okay.
going through the Amadeus Arkham stuff, that stuff's really cool. As far as like
Yeah.
he gets to a point where he does something, let's just say illegal, not to spoil it, and it's like, oh, well, there's much more to this, and I would like to see more. So, and then I only have like 4 more trophies to go until the platinum. So I'm like, well, I could just go and get the platinum just to see what happens and see this through. And I guess that's the other thing is like, I was never really a fan of the Riddler trophies like ever because it's just tedious work for me. But like this one, I was like doing them, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. So it is tedious and is kind of a chore, but they're not as bad as you think. There's just a lot of them, so it's a lot of busy work and extra work. But once you get them, and it's like kind of worth it to be like, oh, I guess get to see all this like behind the scenes stuff, or this extra like audio logs that are really cool. As far as like all the villains and all the like what's going on the island and what's happened, like all the build up and exposition, that was pretty cool. But like yeah,
Yeah.
I can see why people like it so much, and it got my respect. I was like Arkham Asylum, you're okay with me even if you're not my favorite of the series. And then Arkham City. Oh, that's the other thing. Is like playing it. It's like that's kind of like the other thing is like it's not as good combat wise, but it's still good. But it's just like it's not that like next tier, next level, like City and Origins. And then like you go to play, man. After not having played City in like a while, like every time I brush that game off, just like to come back to it, and just it's masterful. It is just a masterpiece. Like every time I fall in love every time again. Just the combat is so good. It's just like, man, just when you do that, you have like one free flow combo and like you don't drop any combos and like you take no hits and you just like have your gadgets going. And it's just so seamless and just oh, it's so good. And then like now it's 60 frames and it's just so smooth, like butter and just
Butter.
it is ethereal, vaporous, immaculate, near perfection. And man, I just wish Origins could just get the remaster treatment because man, that would just be it is just because that's like I mean that wasn't by Rocksteady, but it had technical issues. But if it didn't have technical issues, it would just be even better, or just like that much closer to perfection. So kind of sad, And then really, just still a jerk, dude. Like kind of annoyed that you have to like that guy just like. I mean that's like playing it now and then like knowing the payoff or like the lack thereof with Riddler in Arkham Knight is just like makes me want to just punch someone because it's like, man, this guy's such a jerk and like there's so many hoops you have to jump through.
He is a
in
villain,
Arkham
so I
Knight,
mean,
and then it's just not a satisfying payoff. And then like it is even more of the like, oh, you finished the game, now do the other thingies, and it's like, dude, really, like more of this, and it's just teased, and yeah, a disappointing conclusion to say the least. And then and I was doing like the Riddler stuff, and I had to switch to Catwoman, and man, that character model is just still one of my favorites. Just you are Selena Kyle. You stole my heart more than Lee Artisoni in Mass Effect. Almost like a half notch less. I think it's just a costume, really, because that costume is just like such a good
very
costume design.
form-fitting.
And very form-fitting, and just like man, like.
So
how?
it's all about the physical for you.
It is. He cares nothing about anything else.
Gotcha.
Well, hey, what can I say? Those character design artists and renderers did a really good job. So yeah. I mean, and like the bit that you get to play as her, not a lot going on. And then, I mean, except for the part when, like, you go back for Batman, and she's like, I can't leave him. It's like, oh, she's not a complete terrible person, just like Chloe and Uncharted. It's great. It's great. They should team
Well,
up
I mean,
sometime. It'd be fun.
Catwoman was never like a villain like some of the others. I mean, she just kind of needs to steal
Catwoman has
stuff from
never
time to
tried
time.
to take over the world
Not yet.
or destroy the city.
Not yet. She's always just in it for the money,
Yep.
and sometimes to heal her cats. So she's not a horrible person. It's all about the cats for her. All about the cats. And at the end of the day, how do you not trust someone who loves cats? Actually, I don't trust anybody who loves cats because they're the worst. But still,
Cats or cat lovers RPG? Which are the worst?
both. I mean,
Oh.
but it's not their fault. I mean, they have terrible choice in pets, but to each his own, I guess. To each his own.
It also made me sad that, where my Black Panther at? Just saying, like, still imagining Batman as T'Challa. 'Cause it's as close as I'm going to get, really, at this point. I'm just like, giving up all hope. I would like it to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen, so...
Maybe after
I will judge you
Insomniac
very
is done
harshly,
with,
like, super, super harshly on your upcoming Avengers, whatever the F game that is you're working on. I mean, Spider-Man from Insomniac is going to be good, but it's not going to be no Batman.
I mean, it's
Black
possible that
Panther.
after they're done with that one, they'll do Black Panther.
Oh my gosh, RPG, do not get my hopes up like that. That is just evil.
I mean, it's possible.
I mean,
mean,
Square Enix is doing the Marvel stuff now, right? What was that announcement back then?
I don't know, it's like an Avengers game, so
No.
Yeah.
it's not Marvel specifically. I don't think they've licensed that out like Star Wars has been licensed out, so it's just like whoever. They did it the right way with that license, unlike Star Wars. Because that's why Telltale got a game. And it was awesome, just saying. So, yeah. Hopes and dreams, hopes and dreams.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, Arkham City. If you have not played that, the Arkham, whatever, Road to Ark. It's got a weird name. It's got a weird name, and it's dumb. So
The
that
city, I think, was free, wasn't it, on PS Plus at one point? I think that's how I got it. If I'm not
It might have
mistaken.
But the remasters are really good now. They've fixed them and the whole retooling of the firmware to make it even better with the super assembling. Worth it. And hopefully Origins sometimes ever. I mean, sometime ever if we get Origins, that'd be great. If we don't, whatever, it's still good if you go back and play it. So whatever. Let's see. Besides that, Batman and Radiant Historia. I think the only thing I'm playing is Monster Hunter. 'Cause I talked about Batman Telltale, right? And like the whole new episode, right? Episode 4. I talked about that.
Yep.
I think so.
All right, so I was left as Monster Hunter. I'm playing it right now, actually. Me and our are taking down this Valhalla. It's great. It's great. It's great fun. It never ends. Always something to do. I have not started my second weapon discipline yet, so that's still a thing. Still.
What?
Gonna
You're
be-
still using only the one type of weapon?
I haven't put a lot of time in this game RPG, and I've like,
Oh my
spent
gosh!
time
Even
playing
Tropical's
Golden
done like
Batman.
multiple weapons at this point, and he's played for like 10 hours.
I mean, I thought about it, and I was like,
3
Devil
weapons.
Joe is going to be coming out soon. I'll just save all my stuff for him, and all the sweet gear and weapons. And because there's going to be new, there's going to be a new, I mean, maybe just like one new sword, but still, it's a new sword. So whatever. And then armor.
Well, it's gonna be a new something for every weapon type. I mean, you just only use the sword.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, but
For those of us
I'll
who use
be-
other
I'll
weapons,
be ready to go in there and kill him with my current stuff, and not change anything, and have it mess with my stuff, and be like, oh, I'm not used to this because I switched weapons.
it's fine. He's gonna still wreck you anyway, so it doesn't matter.
We'll see about that.
Well,
then
we will.
they said there's more other stuff too, so that's cool. So
They have a spring blossom festival
and
or something.
I'm kind of semi obsessed with this. All the swords. So once I have all the swords, I can switch. But until then, I mean, I'm missing one. I'm not gonna worry about the arena swords, whatever. But the double Joe thing, that's gonna bug me if I don't get the double Joe sword. So after
You
that.
don't have all the swords yet?
I do not.
What?
I'm missing the arena sword because I didn't do the last two arena quests because they're kind of hard. And I didn't feel like
Oh
trying. And I was like,
my
whatever, man.
goodness! You've got to be kidding me right now. Everyone's gotten all of one of the types of weapons except you. Even Tropical, and he's only played for like 10 hours.
Um,
Really, Tropical? Oh,
yes.
well, good for Tropical.
Oh my gosh, Tekken, get it together.
Well, the last two arena fights are really hard, and I didn't feel like
Oh
trying.
my gosh, we could just do it after this. We could just do them after this.
Okay, they're so easy. I guess I'll try.
Get good. Get good, Tekken.
But yeah, basically I've been doing the event quest this week that is get all the well not it's get all the mushrooms, but it's basically a lie because it wants you to get all the or it allows you to get a bunch of timbered monster tracks. So I've just been
Yes.
playing the crap out of that and just getting a ton of them. And I almost have like 5 full pages, which is like I mean it's not the complete investigation log, but I think it almost is. So I almost have like all my investigations full of tempered monster ants. So it's like once that is there, because I was just kind of like angry at the game of like everything was perfect. It was basically 9.5, and then that happened. I was like, well, now you're 9. Sorry, Monster Hunter World, but you're 9 now. And that happened, and now I'm like, oh well, now that that's solved, I can go back in and just play to my heart's content against these tempered monsters and be like, yeah, because I was only able to augment one set of armor because it's expensive. Once I got that far, and I was like,
It's very
wow,
expensive.
this is going to be expensive for all this armor, all these weapons, and then like maybe making multiple sets of weapons and armor because it's like, well, if I can augment it with this thingy and like have it heal me or this extra damage or extra slots, and it's like, actually, this is all viable. All of these things are viable and awesome, and I want them all. So, that's a lot of zinni, and it's hard out there for Tekken. So, I'm getting my bandit mantle, and I'll come back to you. But first, I need to get these tempered monster ants, and now I've got a bunch of them, so now I can go back to super hardcoring playing in Monster Hunter World. It's a fun time. It's great. So, also, me and RPG totally just like destroyed this Valhazak in 18.5 minutes. It's great. It's great. Didn't get my Fang Plus I needed for my armor, but that's the other thing. I made a bunch of like stuff to do in the game since there's no objectives after a certain part. So it's like all the Elder Dragon armor. All the long swords, I already said that, but that's, eventually. RPG's been, apparently we're going to do it now and see how easy it is.
Because, I mean, you're supposed to have all of at least one type of the weapons. I mean, I have all my hunting horns now.
And then, let's see what else. All the, oh yeah, all the high rank armor. And but like specifically all the ones that give them like a set bonus, and then I'll go for like just like all the sets. Like, all the sets in general, but like first the ones that have specific perks for the set, and then the ones that are like the beta builds because they have more slots for the jewels or decorations or whatever, and then the alpha ones eventually they have like all of it because it's like it's all viable because you can just like mix and match, have like some really cool mix of stuff going on. But I haven't got to play around with that because I've only been had to spend all my money on my sweet augmented armor that gives me extra health to like take all these hits because I'm terrible. But it's fine. It makes me I get to live, so it's yay to living. And when I put my Rocksteady mantle on, I can be like, yes, yes, and just absorb it all. I'm just gonna start calling that like the Wakandan build, 'cause I can like take it and then give it back out. I mean, it doesn't work exactly like that, but it's close. I mean, it's not close enough. Whatever. I can pretend. I can pretend it's a fictional world and I can have fun. So that's what video games are for. Yeah.
Oh my.
But not really much else on Monster Hunter going on. So just slowly going to my ancient tree and like planting all my thingies to get all the material I need to craft all my stuff and have like a ton of it all the time, so I need to go out and harvest it. And the ship dude, he comes in, he has it, he's like, hey Tekken, I got this thing, and I'm like, oh thanks, I don't have to worry about the sonic screamers because you're just giving them to me all the time, and it's way easier than harvesting those. I mean, it's not easier, but it's like Tekken ain't got time for that. He's like, I just want to go and hunt. I don't want to do any of that stuff that's like macromanagement, blah blah blah. Oh, let me go get this thing I need. It's like, please, I just want to have fun all the time, Monster Hunter. That's why I stopped. When I was like, oh, I need tempered monster tracks, I'm not going to go look them up because F that crap, that's not fun. So I just wanted to be, yeah. After my experience with that other game that starts with a D I will not name, it's like I just wanted this to be like a
Destiny.
It was like 100% all the time, fun time, and like I didn't want the fun in, and it hasn't because I played it smart. And then that event quest that we just had, I was like, oh yeah, that was just for me. I mean, it wasn't just for me, but like that basically itched that scratch. And here I am, and like no complaints. And 99.5 mushroom is like it's near perfection. It's very close, but that whimsical, fanciful, weird story stuff it's got going on. That aside, it is basically an immaculate, perfection piece of software game. And good job, Capcom. Thank you for bringing it back to consoles. And that's all I've been playing. Monster Hunter World. It's the shit, and you should be playing it too.
Whoa, language! There could be kids listening.
It's the bee's knees. It's the stuff, whatever you want to call it. It's the thingies. I don't know. I'd be the
Yep.
thingies.
Yeah. So for the record, I actually do not have all of any weapon because I've been I did it for the bit, so the impact.
Yeah.
So if you just listen to that part, it still works.
was lying.
But then,
Did it work?
yeah, we're gonna come back to it and be like, nope, actually, that's not true. Mostly because, so I didn't play Monster Hunter at all this week.
What?
Because I've been working on this indie game showcase that we're doing in a month, and I was just like,
Ooh.
I have no time to do anything. But yeah, no, probably the reason I don't have all of any weapons is because I've been very unfocused in my play. So I've just been doing things randomly. It's like, oh, every time someone else needs to do something, it's like, okay, let's go do that. And it's like, do you need something from there? It's like, I have no idea. I haven't been paying attention. So, yeah, even now, I'm just in random SOSs.
Do you know about the
Just-
wishlist tropical?
Yes, I do know about the wish list.
That's what I did when I was writing out things. I was like, I'm just gonna put the swords, the last few swords I need. I'm gonna wish list, and it'll tell me when I have the stuff. And that was a fun time. 'Cause I was just doing whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, I have a few things. I'll just focus on them. And I was like, yeah, I'll just focus on this while I'm eating my hunter rank up. And then and then I did that, and I was like, oh, I need these thingies for augmentation. And the drop rates were kind of terrible, and I was like, I need more temper tracks. I'm not doing this. And then we got the event quest, and I was like, oh, well, that alleviated that angerness, didn't it? Thank you, Monster Hunter. I love you again. I never did not love you, so
I got distracted. So I did have all of my all the bows in the wish list, or as many as I could. And then I was like, cool, I have all these bows, and I'm just finding stuff, trying to get these parts. And then at one point, I saw an armor that I wanted. I was like, oh, cool. And so a set of armor requires 5 slots on your wish list, which I think there's only 6 slots.
you can do one at a time. Drop the call.
So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna go do this armor now, and then cleared all the bows out of my wish list, and then it's like, oh, now I want a different armor, and I just kept going for different things, and then now I have nothing in my wish list because I just haven't got back to add things back in. I was like, what?
It's actually pretty funny too because I had the Nergi Gante armor on it, and I got it, and I never used it. I was like, oh man, I want this armor. It took forever to get all those gems or get that gem. But then I would just use the gold my variant from the weeklies, which luckily I haven't needed to use for the last few weeks. I have 3 of them, and now I can just use that on the double Joe gem. So it's yeah, I got something for you, buddy, when you're here because I already got your stuff. So it's it's not even gonna be an issue. It's yes, it's great. I love this game so much. Oh my gosh, it's great.
How was this quest even hard for you? You have
I didn't
the
try it.
longsword is one of
I
your.
didn't try it RPG. I was like, I'm
Oh.
done because I saw the double Diablos after this. I was like, oh, that ain't happening. Pass. And I was like, yep, I'm never getting that sword. And I just gave up because I did not feel like trying. I was like, you know what? This has been a fun ride. Like I said, this has been a fun ride. 100% fun. Why ruin it? Why ruin it? And that's how that happened.
'Cause at least in this one, you have a weapon type that you're used to, so it's not even.
Yeah, and they're not hard enemy types. It's just really police.
Just the roly polies. Pull the lever! Pull the lever!
Well, so one thing that did happen this week was Fortnite got released in Japan, and my brother was like, he wanted to try it. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's try it. So we linked up to play Fortnite Battle Royale. The current special mode is a 5 teams of 20 thing.
I wanted to try that, but I never got around to it.
It's it's sort of the same as the 2 teams of 50. Because you're still divided up into squads
Oh wait, no, I
of
was
4.
thinking of the 2 of 50, never mind, not the 5 of 20. But they both seem like interesting things to try out.
Yeah. but they're pretty similar because like it really is just you're still basically in your squad of 4, except that outside when you see other people, not all of them are trying to kill you. Like some of them are actually on your team, other squads of 4 that are going to help you. And it's like, oh, that's great. So we played a whole bunch of them. And it's really cool. I haven't played Fortnite Battle Royale since they added the 60 frame mode, which now exists. So the game is super smooth, far smoother than I've ever seen PUBG at. Probably because it's at 5 on 20.
Oh dear.
When you're matchmade into a squad of 4, like it really like every player shares a huge burden to do well because there's so few of you. But when there's 20 people, then that
you can kind of half-butt
a
it
little bit. Yeah. And yeah, we actually won several games. It was really neat. You just have to kind of stick together and sort of outnumber anyone you run into. Pretty fun stuff.
How fun was it?
So fun.
But it wasn't funner than Paragon.
Rude.
I haven't. I don't really know. You know, now that I'm not playing Paragon, it feels weird. It's like, why did I play it so much?
You feel dirty. You feel like you can't be fulfilled anymore. You feel like there's a hole inside your heart that needs to be filled. A void, if you will, that can't possibly be
So we were
filled.
talking about this before the show, where you know, I did not give Paragon sort of a mourning period before I went and started playing the very game that led to Paragon's demise.
Yeah, traitor.
Which reminded me of something that happens in Fortnite. After you die, you get to spectate. In solo, you spectate whoever killed you, and then it sort of daisy chains from them. So if they die, if the person who kills you dies, then you start spectating whoever killed them, and on and on and on until the last person. And my mentality, for some reason, I think it comes from like sports, is you want the person who killed you to be the one who wins.
It's true, because it's like you want to feel like, okay, this makes sense
It's like,
that I
at
died.
least they were the best. So, yeah, I guess in a way that is the relationship between Fortnite and Paragon. Is like, if Paragon has to die, then at least Fortnite is pretty good. I mean, if it was like a terrible game, then it'd be like,
It is.
why?
I think you're
Then the void can
maybe
never fill.
misusing the word good and popular, but hey, whatever, man. That's your
Sure.
opinion.
Those are two different things. Those are two different things.
I mean, I think Call of Duty early on was like good, right?
No.
And
Traitor.
and it was also popular. And then
that's a good point.
what happened
You
later
could be
was
good and
that
popular.
it became overdone.
I think, I mean, after a certain point, though, when you have so many entries and you are just the same thing over and over again, you are just like
Yeah,
that Call of Duty game of like yearly entry. What did we change?
was
Nothing.
the
Assassin's
problem.
Creed says hi, and they're like, oh, we gotta take some time off, and then Origins came out, and then a lot of people didn't play it, but then people that did were like, oh man, guys, it's amazing, and it's like, well, we've been down this road. I'm sorry, I will just wait for the $20 Game of the Year edition, and yeah, because they know what they did, so F them in the B.
In the B.
See, yeah, so like Call of Duty today is still good because it's still the same game. It's just not, it's still good. It just doesn't feel that way because it's the same game. I guess because it is the same game. More confusing than it had to be.
I was about to say, I was like, what?
Anyways, yeah, that is pretty much all I had time to play.
Traitor.
Whole bunch of games of Fortnite.
It's fine. Paragon isn't sad at all. It's not
It was
sad.
really fun, like, teaching him all the stuff that you can do, because he's never played any one of those. It was just like, oh yeah, like, these kind of weapons, like, oh, and you picked up, like, Fortnite has goofy things that aren't in PUBG, like,
Yeah, whenever
the,
Def would like come into
the-
our party chat when we were playing Destiny and like start talking about it, I'd be like, "What? Slurp juice and like dancing thingies or something?" I'm like, "What is going on
Yeah.
here? What type of game
It's
is
like-
this?"
Groovatron grenade, basically, and then
That's-
also a wearable bush disguise. We got it. And
Sounds legit.
traps, so you can like lay traps down. And the one game I died, and my brother was still left, and I was spectating him, and he found a one of the bush disguises, and I was like, "Oh, cool, it's a bush. Just put it on, and then you'll look like a bush, and then don't move, and people won't be able to tell that you're not a bush." He put it on, and he was like, "Oh, so, but I can see me." It's like, "Yeah, but it's like it's hard for them to see you." It's like, "Okay," and so he was walking around as a bush, and then at one point he found
A bigger bush.
no, there was like enemy player hiding in a like under high voltage lines, there's often a fenced in area that says high voltage.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was hiding in one of those, and they like briefly saw each other, and so the guy was like hiding in a corner, and he set up a trap on the ground next to the door so that when my brother went in, he would step on the trap. But since I've played it before, I was like, no, there's a trap there. Like, I heard him. And yeah, see, you can see it on the ground. And so he was just like wandering around this small little enclosure inside of his bush, waiting for the other guy to come out. And the other guy wouldn't come out. And so they were sort of in this stalemate. And finally, my brother set a trap on the outside wall, and the other guy started building inside of the wall, and like he made some stairs to go up above it so he could see. And then he saw he saw the bush that was moving. He's like, "Oh, this is my chance. I'm gonna drop down and kill him." And it just like worked perfectly. The guy jumped down and started following the bush as it slowly backed away. And then my brother got the kill from the wall trap by just like leading that guy into it. And I was like, that was amazing. And yeah, like the game has just so many of these little goofy things that can happen.
All thanks to Paragon.
All thanks to Paragon dying. You get to live Fortnite.
You're welcome, Fortnite.
This
Rotten
time.
hell. Darkest timeline, man. Darkest timeline.
It's kind of it was I mean, it makes sense, but it was like it's sort of sad to hear that an individual's love for a game cannot keep it running forever.
Well, that
Well,
would be
if it has a
impossible.
multiplayer element, Tropical. If it's single player, you can play until the cows come home.
Until the cows come home.
The thing is, like, they could keep Paragon going forever. If they had just not said anything, I think people would still be playing. But instead, they said something, which, I mean, on the one hand, I guess is good. But on the other hand, it's like, that's what killed it, like,
It's like
instantly.
officially, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, there's no point in wasting my time now, because you're going to die soon.
Pretty much.
It's kind of like that Hey Arnold episode where Helga was like telling Arnold like he had so many days until he dies because he like had that bully after him. So she would like call him, and then she would like stand outside his window, and she'd be like, "5 more days until you die." And then she like dedicated a song to him, and then the radio jockey was like, "This goes out to Arnold, who has 10 more days until he dies." And it's like, this is just ridiculous. But yes, it's kind of like that, So now everyone just like waiting, they're just counting down the days. They're like, "Well, you're gonna die soon because." This goes out to you, Paragon. Pour one out. Pour one out.
Okay, but isn't Fortnite still in beta though, Tropical?
Yeah.
So shouldn't you be like, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, as far as like, oh well, Paragon, it was never actually fully released. I'm never going to, play one of those early release games that's super popular again, and then here you are. Drinking out the bottle again, and it's like, oh, I didn't learn my lesson. Huh.
He's an alcoholic.
Well, I mean, it's not that it's in, because like obviously the circumstances are different. Like Paragon was always about, when there were updates, it was always about, oh, we're trying to get more players in, and so they like made an entirely different card system and made an entirely different map and made all these different things and like sped up the game and did all this stuff, and every time was like, we're trying to get more players, and you see 5 updates like that, and it's like, it seems like they're not getting any more players. Whereas, like, Fortnite, every time you hear about Fortnite, it's like, oh, it's breaking records. Like, now it's this many players. Now it's 3 million players. Now it's 4 million players. So, I don't think there's a direct parallel, and just because they're both in beta, like, there are other things like Google, like Gmail, I think is still in beta, right?
No, I think it finally got released.
They actually release it? Wow.
I think I think so, but it was like it was in beta for like 4,000 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, guys, I think it's time. Time to let that baby fly on its own. Push it out the nest. Good luck free falling. Pretty sure there's a song about that. I don't know.
So yeah, I think it is unlikely that Fortnite will suffer the same fate as Paragon.
Well, I mean, people might, how fads come and go, and how this one thing was the it thing, and now everyone was doing it, and then it's like all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, I'm over it, and then next thing you know, it's gonna be like next year they're gonna be like, yeah, so Fortnite is closing down, and everybody's gonna be like, no, it's like Paragon all over again. Why do I keep falling for these traps? And then it's just gonna be a bunch of people just like singing Boys to Men and then pouring out drinks on their lawns or something. So it's just gonna be a mess.
I doubt it.
All right, guys. You heard him, man. He doubted it, but then he seems to forget that he lives in the darkest timeline right now. So what can you do? But it's fine. Start warming up your vocals, Tropical, because it's pretty hard to say goodbye. So just be ready. Just be ready. I call dibs on the hook. But yes, go ahead. Continue. Traitor.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Oh, well, I just wanted to say, like, about going back to the Call of Duty thing. I mean, at one point it was, like, both good and popular. However, over time, it, like... Okay, here's the thing with Call of Duty. There's, like, a duality. Because you have single-player and multiplayer. And then, I'm not going to get into this too much. I'm just saying, like, over time, single-player didn't really be worth it. Or single-player wasn't really worth it. And then multiplayer, like, you knew what you were getting, and it wasn't worth it either. Like, depending on who you were, it's like you knew, like, this is worth it or not worth it. And then, like, people like me are like, it's not worth it. So it's like, I'm not going to say it's not good anymore. I'm just saying
true.
It's not,
I think, like,
for me, from when I get
single player was also basically you knew what you were getting. Like, I feel like the games are pretty much the same. And, like, so if you looked at them
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Tropicals like it never really got better. Like you know, like if you have expectations and like they meet them, it wasn't exceeding expectations. It's like it's just more in the like
Yeah,
roller coaster ride
yeah.
scenario. Like oh, it's a ride, woo, shooting
I
stuff,
think
explosions. Oh, world's ending, but I'm gonna save it. Yeah, America. Oh, USA, USA. Ah. So it's like you know,
Just like that.
just like that.
yeah, like I think
Killing Russians,
they're
killing ground
all
Middle Eastern people. Oh yeah, loaded
they're all
up.
quote unquote good. They're just not like they're losing their audience. Not because of what they were, or not because of what they were necessarily. It's just like what they weren't to people anymore.
And I think on the multiplayer side, like with every year, it's like you know, it's like what did they keep and what did they change? And like when it wasn't that sweet spot of like what you really loved of like whatever the last entry was, it's like you could only go through so much of that before like you know what, I don't need this in my life anymore. Just like I moved on. So it's like yeah. And then single player, it's like there's so much more out there that's better. It's like this is just a like 5 hour explosion fest with dude bros and stuff I just talked about. America. Rah. So I don't need that in my life. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I've grown as a person and no longer need these experiences. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's not
But,
fine.
you know, you can talk about what you've been playing RPG.
It's basically been covered because I played Monster Hunter, played some Radiant Historia, played some more of that one game that I was talking about on the Vita that other time, stuff like that. So yeah. But, it's been a yeah. Until Alliance Alive comes out at the end of the month, that's pretty much all I'm going to be playing for the next a couple of weeks or so. So yeah, and then yeah. So in Monster Hunter World, I started working on my Ranger set, so that way I can be prepared just in case I ever have to range fight something, because you have to be prepared for that kind of stuff, man. You have to be prepared. You get too comfortable, and then they're like, LOLs, watch this, and then next thing you know,
What?
butt rape. So you got to be prepared. Got to be prepared.
Okay.
Monster Hunter will do that to you. This one's been nicer about it, but don't get too comfortable. Don't ever get too comfortable. It'll be a mistake. It'll be a mistake.
Uh-oh. I need to
So yeah, Devil Joe is coming out next week, I think it is.
It's the
So
22nd. Which I believe is next week, so yes. Correct.
yeah. So that should be fun. He gets to troll a whole new generation of Monster Hunters now. So should be fun. Because he's like Beetlejuice basically, but he's far nastier.
Now I saw your comment to Gamer and I'm like, how can it be worse?
Oh, it
It's
gets
pretty
worse.
bad.
Especially when he goes into rage mode. It gets super fun. So yeah, enjoy, new people. Enjoy,
Yay,
because
surprises.
it's going to be fun times. Because Basil Glees, whatever the hell his name is, Beetlejuice, that guy.
Beetlejuice.
He's based off of, I'm assuming, Devil Joe, based on his behavior and showing up in every place and every time and anytime you don't want him there, because that's what Devil Joe used to do in all the Monster Hunters. He's like, surprise, I'm here too, and it's like, but we're underwater. How are you here? It's like, it's fine, it's fine. It's like, it's all fine.
I really was hoping they'd have the underwater sections from Try in this, but they're not.
So yeah,
So
Prepare to
maybe
enjoy.
then sometime.
No, because when they did it, it was kind of like all over the place. It was a bit of a mess.
No, well, if it's
The
crap
camera
they
was
can
all
have,
over
it
the
didn't,
place,
'cause
and
I just never got
trying
try
to
it out.
fight underwater was not. It was just not a fun time. It was not a fun time. So hopefully they do not do that. But then they'd actually have to add like Logarius or something to the game. Otherwise, there'll be no point of having underwater sections. Because they don't have any monsters here that swim, so that takes care of that. But who knows anymore? Who even knows? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This is the first major update before they probably start doing expansions and stuff anyway, so...
And it's almost E3 season, and they can be like,
Yeah.
this year, coming to Monster Hunter World. Or next year.
Oh yeah, that's
or
true.
Whenever.
E3 is not going to be too far from now. That is true. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Coming to an ancient forest near you. So, enjoy. Enjoy, Monster Hunters. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing, though, so... For now. For now.
In that case, we will move on to tips. Topics inspired by popular songs. The bee is silent. Today's
I was
tip.
just about to say, do you not know how to spell?
Today's tips comes from Dagger. She requested this a while ago. It is so. I was reading the lyrics. I was like, I don't remember. Is it what I think it was? And it is what I think it was. It was.
Wonderful.
I'm a genie in a bottle. You gotta
dear.
rub me the right way.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
For the record, I didn't know Tropical was going to sing that. So, don't blame me for this.
I did not. But also, I was just talking about the same song with someone else not
It
too
was
long ago.
me when we were
which
talking
is
about something in
weird.
Monster Hunter. And then you guys were like, well taken, maybe she's a dude, if you remember that one. Because I was like, oh, well, that would be that. And then that would be that. Ruining the song.
Well, not
And
just
weird.
you. It was like I was at work and somebody was. It's yeah. My job is a mess. But it's weird. It's just weird. You got a lot
Well,
of weird people.
so that's kind of weird, right? Because
Oh no.
is that how the genie lamp works? You gotta rub it a certain way.
Tropical,
No,
really?
I mean, according to Aladdin, you just need to be cleaning it or something.
Yeah,
and do it.
right?
It's not like
yeah.
Well, I don't think you
But
have to.
okay, let's go with the song then. And so the topic that's inspired is if you had the power to make any development teams like money dreams come true, like who would you shower for what game?
Oh man. Okay, so this is like, is this similar to like the flippin' E3 when we do like the wish game? 'Cause this is kind of like what it's sounding like. Just saying,
Kind of.
it's sounding very wishy.
Well, like it is because it's genies and stuff. Like that's what you think about.
that is how they work. That is in fact how
Well,
genies
you're
work.
like, if you could give them, unlimited money and time, I'm like, well, that sounds like a wish. And then I'm like, but then I'm like, oh, I guess we're talking about genies and things. It's like, oh, that is true. Well,
Yep.
Money, dear boy, money.
Also, this is not like normal E3 wishes. Like normal E3 wishes are
I know Tropical.
occasionally
That's why I
like
was well,
throw away stuff. Like when you think of genie wishes, it's like, oh man, I got 3 of them. I got to use them wisely. There are 3 of us, and this is what we're gonna do.
Will we share the wishes?
Sure.
That's very nice of you. I would have took them all. Like F all y'all. I wish. My wishes. So, yeah. Yeah.
let me think here. It's like, what is a wish game? I mean, I guess in the olden times, this one time we're talking about open world games and stuff, and like, blah 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 games, blah blah blah. And I had some sort of idea as far as like, it's like Borderlands, but it's like with Mass Effect, it's open world, and you can just like, co-op it, and then I don't know. I'm because like part of my brain is like that's cool, but then part of my brain is like, well, what about a Telltale game where they use like some sweet, license that would be like really good for storytelling, like.
It'd have to be a license that costs a lot of money.
Well,
Because you're showering them. You're their genie
I
right
mean,
now,
like a
Tekken.
Star
You're
Wars
their
game
genie.
that's like the entire anthology, but then but then that'd be like weird because it's not
Make it
really.
rain, Tekken.
Making it
Make
rain,
it
Tekken.
rain.
Make it
I don't know,
rain.
dude. It's like I got a lot of
Be
wish.
their genie,
I got a lot
Tekken.
of wish games, but then it's like none of them are like whenever I think about these things, I think about them in a realistic manner. As far as like that'd never happen, so therefore it's like I'm not gonna be like yeah man that'd be great because it's never gonna happen. So it's like
But you're a genie, so you can
Too
make it happen.
fantastical.
so I guess it'd be some sort of like VR bodysuit Kojima. Oh man, oh man, oh yeah, oh yeah. There we
There
go.
you go. There you
If
go.
it was
Now you're
like,
getting into it. You're hitting the spot now. You got it going. There you go. There you go. Now we're here. A little to the left.
But yeah, it'd be like, one of those weird Kojima things in VR. And, I mean, of course with the bodysuit, because you can't not have the bodysuit. It's gotta have the bodysuit. Oh.
Oh yeah,
And
that
then-
makes sense.
And then,
Do what he's talking about.
and then, and then, it's gonna be, it's like a Kojima experience, VR, bodysuit action. It's going down. It is happening. And, it doesn't matter what the game is really, because that's all I want really in my life is some Kojima bodysuit action. Because it could be some weird mech thing. It could.
So wait,
it
do you
could-
want him
It's
in
definitely
the
gonna have some weird
bodysuit,
predatory stealth thing
or-
where like you're sneaking up on somebody and then you're just like
He
chugging them around.
wants
You're
to
like,
wear
oh, yeah.
Kojima
Oh
as a
yeah, just like
bodysuit.
that. Just
I
like
just
that.
wanted to say, I was like,
Wait, what? I don't know
which
where.
is like, which actually I think is actually kind of sexual
What did you just say?
because I've heard it before, right before like a sex scene where somebody's like, "I want you to wear me," and it's like, what?
I did not say anything such.
Maybe that was a porn. Who knows? Who even knows anymore? But yeah, apparently Tekken wants to wear Kojima like a bodysuit. You heard it here, first, folks. Guys, enjoy.
Actually,
Tekken's
okay,
weird.
okay, here. Oh, okay. This is for sure, effing genie magical action. But like basically just like every Kojima experience, VR bodysuit, and then like Konami can't do anything about it because we're genies, and it's like haha, you can have the right style of things, and like oh man, naked ride-in section that'd be so weird and so fun and like weird, and then like the torture sequences, oh man, that'd be so intense, and then
See, I told you it was all sexual.
the sweet mech action that we're gonna get anyway from the enders, but it's like it's actually Kojima. It's not like we're just gonna use the assets that we have because we're jerks and we own it because artists don't actually get to keep their creations in the corporate overlord reality we live in. What else is out there? It's the Baderp sneaker or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. That Sega Saturn game with like the robot
Snatcher.
thing. Snatcher. That. Some FNPT dude, and like some like supernatural freaky horror. Oh man, that would like ooh yeah. I'd just be like,
Would you still be wearing a bodysuit for that, or what's
yes,
going on with
RPG.
this
It'd be
now?
like full body horror simulation. Who doesn't want some of that?
Everyone. I mean, what kind of question is that? Who
have you
would want
not
to be
seen
in a
reactions
horror
to Resident Evil
game?
7 and how they're like, oh, it's so intense. You can only play it in VR. If you're not playing in VR, you're doing it wrong. So yeah, that's
Oh,
my answer.
Wonderful.
Some sweet
Wonderful.
Kojima action in VRness. With a bodysuit. Man, I just want bodysuit really. Like bodysuit would just be like 80% of like my solution to like anything. It's just like add a bodysuit, dude, and just you're good. Like you think it's intense now, you think you're immersed, you think you're experiencing it. Put on the bodysuit. Put it on.
So, as opposed to using this money to let him buy his independence from the people that basically own him, you would just make him have a bodysuit?
He doesn't. No. You are not even on the right track, dude. The bodysuit lets you experience all the things, but like even more. So it's like, yeah.
So just like a porn, then. That's exactly what this is.
I never said anything.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. But,
They're like
each his own, I guess.
games aren't sexual anyway. I mean, most of the time, unless rated A, but then they're not published, so it's like whatever. So
Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. Heavy Rain says hi. And I mean, plenty of other games say hi too, actually.
I mean, Whatever. I'm not gonna even touch that subject. I'm just gonna say,
Yeah, I bet you won't.
bodysuits and making it
Because there's no
better.
bodysuit on it.
Man, heavy rain with a bodysuit? Ah, that'd be awesome.
Mm.
You got cut off your finger. Is that game?
Yep.
That is that game.
That's the game. That's the one. I didn't cut off my finger, by the way, because I was like, "F that noise." You're just gonna have to die today, I guess. Just gonna die today.
I did it all strategic.
I was like,
Anyway.
"Listen, I don't love him that much," and it's like at this point, I'm assuming he's dead. So
He's
it's
lived
like,
his life.
Man,
Basically.
now I'm like completely in my brain thinking about hardware side as far as like, I just want some like Matrix Sword Art Online. Like I am there. Like
Have we learned
it's not even
nothing?
virtual. It's like your
have
synapses
we
are just like
learned
plugged
nothing?
in. And you're just like, you can even smell it. I can smell the dung pods that smell like poo. And it's like, I know what type of monster
Wow.
poo that is that I just flung at the other monster to make it go away. It's like, oh yeah, you want some of this basil goose? Have some Negerante poo. And I just like fling some poo at it. Oh man.
He'd be like, "I'm into it. It's cool." We have this whole thing where Urgon is like super into getting pooed on. So we like when Dagger and I are playing, we're just like how he puts on fake mustaches to come back and be like, "Hey guys, I'm a different monster. Please throw poo at me." So it's like it's weird. It's weird. Monster Hunter gets weird, man. Monster Hunter gets weird.
RPG, do you have one or where are you gonna make it rain?
I would have to make it rain on Square Enix so
I was
they
about
can
to
finally
say
cut down on
Kingdom
these
Hearts.
stupid like development times. Because I mean, jeez. That way they can hire all of the people in the universe and be like, "Hey, everybody, you all get like one thing to work on because it's impossible not to finish this now because there's 6 billion of us working on it. Enjoy, enjoy." So, yeah, I would have to just basically buy them a staff because they apparently need one. Because yeah, things take forever. So that's probably what I would be doing. Either that or, letting Atlas buy their financial freedom away from Sega because F them. F all of them. So I would want them to, be free and able to do whatever they want without having to worry about having to remaster like Sonic or some nonsense because they're just like, "Oh, we need them over here so we can appeal to people." And then they're going to use them and abuse them. And the next thing you know, it's just going to be a mess. It's just going to be a mess. And then they're going to start making like yearly personas and it's going to turn into Assassin's Creed and everybody's going to hate it. And it's all going to be Sega's fault because they want to make money. Because money, dear boy. So.
It's funny. I was also thinking Kojima Productions, and Zone of the Enders.
Well, Tropical, let's not
And
kid
since
ourselves.
it's not there, it's
I
like,
only
well-
got there through the VR bodysuit weirdness of my brain. Of like, you know what? Let's kick it up a notch, Tekken. That's not immersive enough. You know what is? The bodysuit. Who would utilize the bodysuit the most? Kojima, because he's weird. More weird than you. So yeah.
And that's saying something.
Fun. So yeah, that is our tip subject for the week. Unless you got anything else.
You mean any more genie wishes or any more tips?
Any more genie wishes? Or
Oh,
I don't know.
dude.
Do you
I
got,
could do
do you
like
got
two
tips?
more for my. It's like that's all get 3 wishes, but my other one would be just like more massive. I mean, I would go back in time and like not have all the people that left Bioware not leave Bioware, and then put them on Mass Effect Forever, and then I'd be happy, and then I would get all my Mass Effect games, and I have like nothing after Dragon. I mean, like, yeah. Just more Mass Effect, because I can't have enough of that in my life because it's awesome, and I'm kind of sad because we might be losing Bioware soon. Thanks EA. Thanks a lot.
So
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
this week there was a video released by Digital Foundry that was with Blue Point Games, and it was revealed that their next project is going to be an even bigger remake than Shadow of the Colossus.
I saw that, but I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. Because then I saw
Would-
the speculation was MGS, and I was like, really? I don't
Well,
know.
some other people were also thinking like it could be Mass Effect.
Yeah, but I mean, that wouldn't be
Would that be?
bigger remake because I mean, it was already on the
See, Trevor, here's the problem. Mass Effect
HD
is a trilogy.
generation.
You need like
Mhm.
all three. You can't just have like one. That's like a peanut butter sandwich like no with no inside. It's just the bread. It's like here's your empty sandwich.
But then that's not a peanut butter
Or just
sandwich.
like
Oh,
the
that's
peanut
just bread.
butter. Or just I'm just saying, there's things that go
I
to a
don't think you
sandwich,
know how
and you're
sandwiches
missing
work.
the critical elements. You can
I
still
don't
eat it
think
like a
you know how a
sandwich. I'm just
sandwich works.
saying. Then you'd be like, oh, the sandwich is empty, just like my soul from this one entry in the Mass Effect series.
The void in your soul.
This is a blank disc. I just printed the logo on it.
Oh, I guess my third genie wish would be like just like universal game consoles as far as like no borders, no walls. Just you get the game, you play it on whatever. It's like I don't need to have a Nintendo, PlayStation, Sony. I can just buy a console, whatever it's called, and play the games, and then they all make games together. Everybody's happy. It's a utopia, but it's the darkest timeline. We cannot not have those things because money over people. So yeah.
Well, darkest timeline. Yeah, that's kind of how dark timelines work.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I want to be a dark timeline when I grow up.
The dark timeline has been weird this week. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about news. Oh no! But it starts with the darkest timeline. The most important.
Just
news
when you
for
thought
me
he
this
escaped
week
its clutches, it
It's
was
like I'm
that-
back.
Toys R Us is over. Now we can truly say there are no more toy stores.
No, you were the chosen one. Toys is literally in your name. No.
It was crazy because like the first, so I heard about it and I was like, oh, they're closing 180 stores, and I was like, oh man, and all the stores that I know of in this area are closing. And so when my daughter asked about going to a toy store, I was like, there are no more toy stores. It's very sad.
Did she?
No, she did not.
Did she
really
fall to her
understand.
knees in the rain and then just say, "Why? Why, dark timeline? Why?"
I guess they don't really feel the loss because, at least for her age, like there really aren't any toy stores. There never have been toy stores. Whereas we had like KB and like Toys R Us, and there was other ones.
Oh
and
man, KB was the best. He was the
now
best.
it's like
was the best.
this was the last one, and now
It was
there's
a magical
now
place
this
full
one's
of
closing
toys.
too. But it's crazy because after I told her that, one day we just happened to drive by the one that was closing. I was like, she wanted to go. I was like, okay. We went there, and they had a paper printout sign on the door that said, "Don't worry, we're not closing. Like, so don't worry." And I said to the guys, like, really, you're not closing? He's like, yeah. It turns out they're not closing any of the ones here. Like, the other one is just they're closing at Babies R Us, and they're merging with the Toys R Us over there. And I was like, oh, cool. So both Toys R Us's that I know of are still gonna be here.
He lied.
And then like 3 weeks passed, and it's like, I hear that maybe the company is considering closing all of the stores now. And so we went again over the weekend. It's like, this may be the last time. Although I don't think they'll close immediately if they decide to close them all, because they're going to try to sell everything off, right? They owe people a lot of money. And yeah, the news came out today that they are closing all of them because they owe people a lot of money. And apparently it was part of their debt is because venture capitalist takeover back several years ago, who they added a lot of debt to it. So thanks again, equity firms.
You should have found that guy and be like, you lied to me. You lied to me, bro. Told me you guys weren't closing. Clearly closing. Now my baby's gonna grow up without toy stores in her life. It's all your fault. You liar who lies.
Well, so Tekken, I think, linked, was it NPR's report on it? And it was about how last year, roughly a fifth of all toys in the U.S. were sold at a Toys R Us. And
20%.
yeah, that's like a lot of toys. And they think that like it's hard to negotiate sort of retail contracts with big retailers and I guess Toys R Us was no longer considered a big retailer. So a lot of smaller toy companies were able to sell toys through Toys R Us, and that's where they would get discovered and then move on to like Target and Walmart and stuff. And
Places.
now the guess is that those small toy companies will also go under and have to sell out to the bigger toy companies or just be gone. So, pretty insane. Yeah, in addition to the debt, part of the problem was also that it's like 3/4 of Toys R Us's 1/5 of all toys in America happened during the Christmas shopping season. So for most of the year, it's like
11/12 of the year. We don't make money.
We're dying.
When Christmas rolls around, though, oh man, those kids.
They're like, oh my gosh, we have more money than we know what to do with. Making it rain for ourselves.
Not the best business model. Just saying. Throw it out there. Probably not the best business model. Way late adapting to that. Just saying.
So, do you think toy stores are just done?
Well, now you can order stuff online and everything. You don't really have to go to stores at all anymore. Soon everything will be done.
I don't know, dude.
Soon everything will be done. You'll never have to leave your house.
Not like ginormous ones anyway. I mean, you could sell like a small store.
So you don't think there's going to be any more nationwide like toy store chains?
Nope.
It's just going to be like small stores.
It's going to be Amazon.
No way.
I don't think it's going to be Amazon actually. You know, I used to think so, but the more I've lived, I guess, like shopping online is extremely different from shopping in a place.
Tropical, you sound like an old person now.
Basically.
It may be different, but it's better.
How often do you find like things that you weren't looking for?
Tropical, that is
very.
You are still sounding like an old person because I always know what I'm looking for.
Because it's all like, hey, I see you like this. Maybe you'd like this random thing that has nothing to do with what you asked for because the algorithms are terrible.
But it's like this thing that's also related to this thing that you might like, and it's hey, good job, Amazon. I wasn't even thinking about
you're right.
And like, you're right.
Give it to me.
I do need that. Here, have some more of my money. Yes.
Basically, yes. And then next thing you know, I'm poor. There you go. The circle of life.
Because I feel like with the algorithm style, it's either like really, really similar stuff or it's like really out there stuff.
Yeah.
And
hilarious.
So it's if it's gonna be all similar stuff, then you really aren't discovering new things. Like you're always discovering kind of new things.
When has it been about discovering things? It's just about getting what I want. I don't care about the other things.
It's true.
I just happen to find something else. It's like, oh, that's cool. Thanks, Amazon. You're the best.
What about the things that you don't know that you don't know?
If you don't know, then why would you be you wouldn't know you were looking for it to begin with if you don't know that you don't know about it.
That is some weird
so that doesn't make any sense.
You can never find the things that you don't know about.
Well, you're not looking for them, obviously. Otherwise,
like,
you would. Like,
so
what exactly are you trying to find that you shouldn't be?
Is it the case that things that you don't know about are never good for you?
What?
Did you just wait?
Are you doing drugs right now? What's happening?
Did you just say
what are we doing?
What's
life
that you're not looking for are never good for you? What?
Like, let's say you didn't know that painkillers existed, and you were in pain.
I think you need a better example, Tropical. It's like, oh man, I have a headache. Too bad I don't know about Advil or Tylenol or anything else that has ibuprofen in it.
But you wouldn't say that to yourself. You would just be like, I have a headache, and that's it. Like,
too bad there's nothing that could help solve that problem. That doesn't exist in my world because Darkest Timeline. So this all makes sense now. It all makes sense. I'm lying. It doesn't make sense. Tropical sounds like a crazy person.
It does
Maybe
make
you
sense.
don't know that you might need what you don't know about. I'm Tropical.
It's like, I see you looking at CDs. Would you like aspirin as well? How did it know? How did it know I had this headache? Because we have PlayStation's algorithms. That's why. It's like, well, that makes sense.
Like, that's the
Makes
thing that I'm
sense.
saying. Like, if you were looking for CDs and you could only search for CDs because you don't know about painkillers,
Yeah, because that makes sense.
like, you would never know about, like,
What is your example where this is actually useful, Tropical?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I need,
Like,
It's like, I'm looking for the letter A. All I can find is B, C's, and D's. It's like, that's...
well, okay, so for like games, like, do you think that you know of every game that you could potentially like?
Yes.
Yes.
Really? So out of all the games in existence, you know
Yes,
you
Tropical.
know of every
Yes,
game.
Tropical.
That
That's
you
why I
would
don't play dating sims or other
fine.
lame games like RPG plays, like where you're talking to people,
Whoa,
whatever they're called.
hey!
Those drama, whatever. Those,
First of all,
whatever they're
the
called.
games I like.
No, I'm not talking about types
Your
of games.
face.
I'm talking about like individual titles.
Tropical, seriously,
Never had-
seriously. That like you could make the same argument about music or movies or like anything else that's like genrefied. Even maybe, I mean, the thing you like maybe you couldn't do it is like it's just like the weird Netflix thing when like we talked about like the whole genre thing on there. Like, you know, you're it's like a I can't all the
Supernatural
weird
female-
adjectives that they put in, and it's
Yeah,
like
that's true.
that. It's like
Like,
that.
oh.
That's like the one thing where it's like it's such a wide net. You might find something that you're not looking for. Everything else is like, oh, I know what I'm looking for, and that's why we use these systems and they work. Tropical, you sound like a crazy person. Just saying.
You do sound like a crazy person, but I mean, I also see that you like, and it's like, wait a minute, what? I feel like if you're not, my thing is, if you're not really looking for it, then I don't think you want them to tell you that you should be looking for it. I mean, it's not like I don't understand like where you think that this whole discovering things that you didn't know you wanted would come from, because it doesn't seem to make sense. Like if you go shopping for something, a lot of times you're shopping for something specifically. Yeah, you may find something that you weren't necessarily looking for, but that doesn't necessarily mean you need that thing. And I mean, you probably don't actually need it if you weren't looking for it to begin with. So I don't know, man.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, there are things out there that you're not aware of that, you know, could be things that you would really help you. For example,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like some super version of cocaine out there I don't know about. Have somebody recommend it to me so I'll do it. Like, I mean,
like if we talk about, so for Tekken, like kitchen tools.
Tropical,
Right?
I cannot cook.
why
What is
would
going on
he?
here?
I was about to say, why would he need kitchen tools? He doesn't know how to cook.
That is a terrible example.
What would be the logic in that?
But you could see, right? Like, there are things that could improve his life that
knew how
he
to
has no
use
idea
them.
exist, right?
I don't. But then he has people who would know those things. So I mean, it wouldn't.
Tropical, I have like an all-time shopping list, and it's very short, and it's on my refrigerator. I could get it right now, and like, I don't. You could be like, oh, but what about this Tekken? What about this Tekken? But I'd be like, dude, I don't care. It's like the way things are fine. I don't need these. Maybe it would make it better, or you might like this Tekken. It's like, dude, my fruit, my vegetables, my trail mix, my cereal, and all the other crap. That's like it's a very fine-tuned list I've made over the years. It's like, I'm pretty good. I got my DiGiorno microwave action going on, and yeah, like not a lot missing for Tekken that he cares about. Sure, it could be like, you know, having some kitchen tools to finally learn how to cook and like, you know, make all these other sweet meals, but it's like, at the end of the day, do I really need that to live? That's, you know, how I kind of take it as like, is this in a world, am I dying? No. And then
Like
I'm
I
fine.
said, super cocaine.
Super cocaine.
Because basically that's what's going on right now.
Apparently RPG thinks I need super cocaine in my life.
I see that you like kitchen tools, so maybe you like the super cocaine. seems
I feel
right.
like we're not getting through to each other here, because I keep bringing up examples that, like, for that specific example, you can
I
obviously
know.
refute it. Like, Tekken has no desire to learn how to cook for
I'm just-
some whatever reason. And
I'm just taking
You know,
it to
like,
extreme tropical. I know what you're.
angels.
I know what you're trying to. I know what you're going for. I'm just.
but see,
I'm
like,
just
doesn't that make
being-
sense then? Like, isn't
Yeah.
discovery important?
It's not important, no. I mean, it makes
No.
sense, but it's
I mean-
like,
Okay,
I
so
wouldn't say it's
Tekken doesn't
important.
understand what I'm saying.
I don't think
then.
he. Yeah, 'cause I was about to say taking a lesson.
Or,
Okay,
I
so
don't
you
know.
know how
You understand?
I think I kind of know what you're going for here, because like I know there's people who go out shopping and like sometimes they go to things like thrift stores and stuff, and then they're like, oh, I came upon this random thing. It's like, yeah, I wasn't looking for it, but it's like it's something cool because I needed it, or like they like the kitchen tool thing. It's like they ended up buying a knife and they were going out looking for clothing because they're like, oh, this little gem was hidden in this store. It's like, yeah, you wouldn't necessarily have found that if you were like shopping online, because you obviously wouldn't be looking for that thing, and it wouldn't recommend. Well, I mean, depends on how weird their algorithms are, but it's like they wouldn't necessarily recommend it to you because it's like, yeah, you weren't looking for this thing, so you may never discover it, even though you probably technically need it, but you just don't know you need it because you wouldn't have had it in your face, basically.
Yeah. Like, I'm coming up with another one, and it's probably going to muddy this again, but it's like,
Wonderful.
say if you were, like, opening canned foods with a Swiss Army knife, like, your entire life,
Seems legit.
and you had never heard of a can opener, like,
I accept this.
you could never find can openers necessarily by searching Swiss. Like, oh, my knife broke. I need to
Buy
search for
another
a
Swiss
new
Army
knife.
knife.
I need to buy another knife to keep opening my cans.
Now, mind you, once again, I'm assuming you have people in your lives that would not allow you to live like an animal. like, bruh, get a can opener. What are you doing right now with your life? But I get what you're saying. But I get what you're saying though. I
Okay.
get what you're saying. I'm still gonna refute it because I like being ridiculous. But but yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Tegan, do you get what I'm saying?
I think I do. It sounds very surreptitious and serendipity as far as like, oh, I happen to be looking for this thingy and I found this other thing completely unrelated, but man, it is so handy. I
Although
need it in
then
my life.
again, in that scenario, I feel like Amazon might actually recommend a can opener to you because they're like,
Why is he buying so many Swiss Army
yeah,
knives?
exactly. Like, do you
They
need
don't
this?
break that often unless you're opening cans with.
Oh, he needs can openers.
But then that's another thing. Like, and we've seen this play out. Like, internet, because it allows you to search exactly what you're looking for. Like, you can only find what you're looking for the most part. And so, like, your example was like, surely you have a friend that knows what a can opener is. Like, sometimes online, you end up in a circle that maybe no one in the circle knows what a can opener is. Like, you found the group that is just all who all use the Swiss Army knife
I'm gonna need
style of
I'm gonna need you to
opening.
discover some new friends. Like, what's going on here? That's what you need.
But no,
discovery
we've
for.
seen this play out. Like, there are bubbles
Yes.
when
People with small
when
records.
the internet is sort of structured the way it is. In the way it is you find what you're looking for, and you can find whatever you're looking for.
I mean, that's kind of how the problem I have with. I mean, it's not really a problem. It's just like that's the experience I have when I'm using Pandora and Spotify. That's why I switch between them. It's because Pandora, it's like it's like I listen to what I like, and then and I thumbs it up and I hear more stuff like that, and it kind of just like gives me more of that, and it's like it's great. But then if I go to Spotify, it's like, oh, I can just go to like other things, and it's like I'll listen to the whole album and be like, oh, how's the entire album, and not just like their hit song that's like continually playing on Pandora all the time. It's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't buy the album because that's why. And then it'll also be like, oh, well, maybe you like this, and I'll be like, oh, well, let me try that out. And it's like more browser friendly than Pandora, since Pandora doesn't let you browse. It's just like, oh, here's more of the thing. It's just like a or not buffet, but like a assembly line of like, you like this, and it just shoves it down your throat like, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just. But then that's I have no problem listening to music like that. But then it's like sometimes I'm like, well, let's see if there's anything else out there. And it's like, and then that's like the funny thing is like sometimes I'll go to Spotify and see like an album I've been listening, or like not an album, but an artist I've been listening to on Pandora has like new albums out or like new music out, but it doesn't play on Pandora. And it's like, oh, they had new stuff out. You didn't tell me. Thanks a lot, Pandora. Ah, jerks.
Pandora is a jerk.
Oh, this got us really into Darkest Timeline stuff. So back to toys. I think that this presents an opportunity actually for a new national chain that isn't saddled with the history of debt and apparently poor management of Toys R Us. So 1/5 of all toys, even if it just happens in like 2 or 3 months is not a small thing.
It's a massive number. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like,
I mean, that's the thing. Is like I think there's an opportunity, but at the same time, I'm like, is the market really that big for toys? It's like, really?
or maybe they, because I mean, I haven't been in a Toys R Us in God knows how long, but I mean, I'm assuming they didn't like diversify that much over the years. So, I mean,
you
maybe
know,
that's why they started to kind of die down a bit.
I actually haven't either. And I gotta tell you, like, in the last few months that I went, because I thought they were dying, they're, like, really fun to be in. Like, if you like toys, you have...
Chocolate's a giant kid.
It's just
guys,
like,
by the way.
yes.
He is a giant kid.
Not
So-
the only one, gosh.
Madison is gonna grow up super happy because, like, when she asks for a toy, I'm always like, yeah, let's get
It's
it.
like, let's do it. As a matter of fact, I already bought 6 of them. Where have you been? What's going on? You're behind. She's like, Dad, chill, Dad, chill.
Yeah, like they're really cool to be in, and they just have, you know, if Target has Legos, like Toys R Us has way more Legos, and just everything is like that, and just like toys you don't see elsewhere, they have them.
Like, well, I mean, I think it's because they were a specialty. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
with Target and Walmart and stuff like that, it's like they have a much wider range of things, so
Yep.
they can't have
Has
so-
quite as many toys.
Yeah, because it's like, well, we only have so much space for
We
things.
already
so it's
call
like-
them super centers. We can't
Exactly. It's like
Target World.
It's like we can only do so much. It's like we have to buy an entire city block, guys. This is it. We've come to this point. We've come to this point.
Yeah,
And
like
then-
being in Toys R Us, though, you could also understand kind of like why it's not working. First of all, like Toys R Us is more expensive than other places. And it's like, so you expect people to come. What, like, you know, if you're not going to care about pricing and you're not doing anything really to make it worth that pricing, then how is this working out? And if we want to dive into like retail stuff, like, I guess the thing is that, you know, everyone says retail is dying, right? Like, we have too many malls, and you go to any mall these days, and there's like a whole bunch of stores that are sort of lying fallow because no one needs the space. And every week or so, you hear of another retailer filing for bankruptcy. But I guess the truth is, there are traditionally online-only retailers that are interested now in opening physical spaces, and it's just because of the way theory is because of the way that they like what the
How to make more money?
no, it's just like sort of how they approach the retail thing. So, for example, the example they gave was like Walmart. You buy something at Walmart. The moment you check out, like, basically you're gone as a customer. Walmart knows nothing about you. Whereas with Amazon, like, Amazon knows everything about you.
Oh gosh.
So that is why Amazon is successful. It's not because they are online and that's like the easy way. It's because they have more data on their customers and Walmart has no data on their customers.
Wait, is Amazon owned by Google?
No.
Nope.
Oh, 'cause I was like, I feel like, wait, one of these things is owned by something. I was like, am I I'm confused? Because sometimes I feel like I search for things, and then next thing you know, Amazon's like, hey, guess what? I know about your search.
They
for
may
this.
work together. Like sometimes it's like
Maybe you want
that can't be, you know. You guys know, right?
Yeah, 'cause sometimes the advertising is a bit too suspicious. Sometimes, like, I'm questioning things. I'm like, wait a minute. I searched
I
for
was
this.
bombarded with a lot of Black Panther stuff lately. I'm not gonna lie. And I shared some of it, and I was like, guys, I need this hoodie. Isn't it a sweet hoodie? Isn't it sweet?
Oh wait, or maybe it's Hulu. Is Hulu owned by somebody? Who is Hulu owned by?
Hulu is owned by many different media companies. Universal, Disney owns a share.
Because I'm just
It's
there's
actually really
things
funny
where
though, because like whenever I go on my phone, it's like all my ad blocks aren't on there because it's not my computer, and it's just like it's super weird because I get that experience of like they do know me, but then I'm on my computer, it's like just ad blocks off the wazoo, and I'm like, psh, I'm just living it free. It's great. It's great. Like on my phone, it's like, oh man, they know,
They still know you. You just don't know about
you
it.
just don't know.
You
Yeah,
can't
but you just don't know about them knowing you. Yeah, because like sometimes I'll get like advertisements when I'm like watching Hulu or whatever, and I'm just like, that's weird because it's like it'll be something I searched on my I search on my phone like on the internet or whatever, and then I'll like go and watch Hulu, and then I'll get like an advertisement like that.
Black Mirror prequel season.
Happening right now, yeah, because it's like some of these ads for I'm like, this is unusually targeted. It's like these things should not be working together. Like I don't understand. Because sometimes it's like
Targeted.
this is strange. It's like, how did you know I looked at something like this? Because it'll be like something where like I'll be like at work or whatever, so I'll look up like pizza for instance or whatever, and then I'll like come watch a show on Hulu, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh, how about this wonderful pizza place? I'm like, wait, what's happening right now? What are we doing? What's happening? So it's always weird. I'm just like, sometimes I'm very suspicious of the world we live in. Too much data sharing going on.
That might be other stuff, but I don't want to freak Tekken out too much.
I think it might be too late. It might be too late.
Yeah, it's sort of this sort of customer data focus versus product focus, and I find it interesting. But enough of that. Let's move on to. There was like a whole bunch of game announcements this week. Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Because if not, then F it. F all of it.
We already know that one's coming. We heard the song or a little bit of it.
I know.
I wonder how long it takes to write a song. Anyway, yeah, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the next Tomb Raider game. It's supposed to be the last one. That actually hasn't been announced yet. It has just been teased that they're going to announce it tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be the end of the Origins trilogy, basically.
I see what they're doing.
Which is kind of weird because there's a movie coming out on Friday.
Coming out
about the Origins.
The best video game movie ever.
What?
That's not a high bar, just saying.
It's not. I was just about to say, not that it's hard, but, you know, in case you were going off of praise, guys, there's that.
I
never watched Resident Evil: The Final Chapter.
Rampage.
I haven't seen it, I bought it.
It's like the best type of the worst type of movies to ever exist. You know, enjoy.
It's actually a lot harder to be the worst video game movie of all time.
I just about to say it is.
Because that bar is really low.
Or really, yeah, I would say because like you can't really say it's really high, but yeah, it's there are some very strong contenders out there for that.
It's really hard.
Some very strong
You
contenders.
try very hard, and at that point, like, who is giving you this money to make this movie?
It's true. It's true. They're like, you know what? I want this to be my legacy. I funded the worst video game movie to ever happen. Yes, this sounds right. This seems right. Here, have all my money. He's someone's genie. He's someone's personal genie. He's like, I'm doing a tips today, guys, and I'm gonna be somebody's genie. So yeah.
So yeah, Shadow of the Tomb Raider apparently is being worked on by Eidos Montreal. Because Crystal Dynamics is currently working on the Marvel game, and then I guess
Don't F it up, Crystal Dynamics. Where's my Black Panther?
They're gonna switch lever.
Where's my Black Panther?
They're gonna switch later. Montreal's gonna make the second Marvel game, and Crystal Dynamics is going to do a new Tomb Raider, I guess.
Hey,
there was some talk about
if Disney
maybe
Infinity
an older.
doesn't get showed, that's not an issue. I can just be like, I got my Black Panther character, gonna play some Black Panther. Disney Infinity.
My Black Panther character over there.
Big Hero 6 is all I have to say to that.
Oh man, that was such a good formula. Why did they? Dang it, Disney.
Then also, so Shadow of the Tomb Raider has not actually been announced, but some data mining. It's supposed to be like September
Because
14th.
the
It's the
teaser
release date.
leaked and I watched it.
Oh, okay.
really?
So yeah, all the leaks.
That sucks because it's like you get all geared up for.
E3.
It's like, oh, we're gonna get them, we're gonna surprise them, guys, and somebody's like, LOLs, I just data mined you. Look at all this stuff, guys. Look at all this stuff. Ruined your surprise. F you. Like, oh, thanks, jerkwad. Thanks. Nice things.
Ubisoft teased the Division 2. They're gonna reveal that at a later date.
The Division 1 was such a... Never mind. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
I guess they're gonna add stuff to that one, so it's not gonna die immediately.
Well, they're not the only game that's gonna DNA with the second game. Oh ho ho, holy do better. Oh, ho, ho.
And they're basically the same game, except one has... Oh, wait, no. Except one has... Actually, I don't know the difference. I don't know the difference.
Space wizards from the moon.
Oh, right, Space Wizards. That one has Space Wizards and one has not Space Wizards.
Yeah, one imagines that they've been watching Destiny because they also announced that you'll be able to carry over something from Division 1 to Division 2. And if they've been watching Destiny, it will probably be more than just your face.
Probably won't be your dignity, though. It probably won't be your dignity. So there you go.
Just your face.
Enjoy.
This year's Call of Duty has been revealed. It's Black Ops 4.
With the
Oh god,
wrong
I saw the logo for that and I was like, that's how the Roman numeral 4 is written.
It is really funny. People, writers from Eurogamer went and asked a museum guy if that is correct. And actually, it is correct. It's the addition style. The subtraction style IV did not become widely used until much later. So 4 eyes is okay for 4.
Unless what they're doing is the tally marks for people who are in prison, and they're just gonna be 5 is gonna
That's
be
what people thought it was, maybe.
So, I mean, it's kind of like saying you're never going to escape. It's like year 5, guys. Year 5.
Oh man.
It's
But yeah, they're doing their typical. We're gonna reveal this stuff slowly. I think the next one is in May or something, May 17th, I believe. And yeah. And then what else was announced?
Sonic or Sega, whatever collection. I don't know if that was announced, but they had a trailer.
Huh.
It's
I didn't
basically
see that.
looking like it's the Sonic Ultimate Sega Genesis collection, but on PS4 with online play. So
Oh.
current gen. No Switch yet.
Okay,
Sorry, Switch
yeah, it's
users.
like the Mega Drive collection or something. Or wait, that's not what they called it here. Genesis collection.
that is not. I would say that is not the name of the console here.
Genesis collection. PS4, Xbox.
Silly Tropical.
Oh yeah, there was no mention of exclusivity on Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
There isn't any.
So I
Yeah,
guess
that worked out for 'em.
over with.
They learned their lesson by now.
I also saw allegedly that Microsoft is bringing the air quote big guns, and I was like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, because last time I checked, they don't have any guns, so have fun with that.
Well, so part of what that is it seems like they're kind of following the EA Play model. So they're still going to be at the convention, LA Convention Center for E3. But that area is going to be devoted to Mixer, which is their Twitch competitor. Most of their stuff is going to be at the Microsoft Theater, where they're going to do their press thing at, I think it's 9 a.m. Pacific time on June 10th. And they're also having their playable stuff there. And they're saying because it's their own space, they'll be more able to accommodate a lot more people. Probably has to do with E3 opening to the public, and now they want to have they want more people to be able to play their stuff. So if they have it within their own theater, then they can do that. Guess we'll see if anyone else follows suit.
Wait. Time out. So they're going to have like their own theater?
Right. So
Yeah.
there is a Microsoft theater there.
Oh.
And that's where they're doing their E3 press thing. And then also in the same building, they're doing their like booth, basically. Their games booth.
Interesting.
Should be pretty neat. Maybe that's what they refer to.
Should be. As long as they have cool reveals and stuff, they should be okay.
Twitch Prime is going to have free games now. Free games with Prime, it's called. So every month they're going to give you access. I think these are all PC games.
Yep, they are. Because I asked about it, because I saw this and I was like, oh, dude, free games on top of my Plus subscription. And then I got sad. I was like, oh, it's not on PS4. Well.
But yeah, like starting tomorrow, you'll be able to get, if you're a Twitch Prime member, which is an Amazon Prime member with your Twitch account linked to it, you will get Super Hot, Oxenfree, Mr. Shifty, Shadow Tactics, and Tomb of Annihilation.
It's weird though, because like I was like, well, it would be nice to have free PC games because I do have a gaming PC. But I was like, I have enough games. That was weird, and I was like, yeah, I have enough free games too. Because when am I going to find the time to play them? I have not found time to play the ones I have on Plus. So yeah.
Yeah, this is like
games.
More and more.
But
it's getting like
PS4.
cheaper and cheaper.
You already have PlayStation Plus.
Exactly, RPG. It's like it's like 70. It's really cheap, dude. It's like it's like less than $20. And it's like that's like the $20 rule. So it's like a year free games for that. I would go for it.
It's pretty crazy. Next month, April, it's going to be Tales from the Borderlands, Shadow World Dig, Steam World Dig 2, Tokyo 42, Kingsway, and Dub Wars. Yeah, like as long as you're not too picky about what you play, like there are ways to play tons and tons of games, more games than you have time for very little money these days.
Wonderful.
It's kind of cool. These are some small things. Well, I probably shouldn't have said that. Monster Hunter World. So Devil Joe comes out March 22nd in the first major update of the game. And they also revealed at a later point in the year there's going to be a Devil May Cry crossover, which includes his costume, classic Dante costume, and also a like special I forget what it's called.
It's a
like
charge
the
blade.
Axe, right? It's the axe blade thing, except without the axe.
Oh no, I need this for the Guild Cross armor set. No.
But it turns into Alistair instead of like having like the axe version or something.
Yeah.
Great luck. Oh my gosh, I gotta get this.
I think probably the ebony and ivory things that they showed in the trailer are
Emotes.
like premium emotes,
Yeah.
so probably
That's what
gonna
it
have
seems
to
like.
get those.
It's true, because I mean...
I like the emotes. They're fun. Wasn't Sakura supposed to be in the game? I guess that hasn't happened yet.
Not yet.
Wait, she didn't come with Ryu?
She wasn't with the new one,
Nope,
yeah.
She wasn't.
Oh.
It's called a slow trickle tropical. You can't just let it all out like once. It's in Destiny. Jeez.
Fine.
Can't
I'll
blow your
wait.
full load. You gotta kind of have to half load it. Oh, wow.
Weird. Okay, so this is a small thing. This week only, Google Maps is celebrating Mario Day, which apparently was March 10th because you can write it and it looks like Mario. But yeah, like Google Maps, when you use the navigation, instead of hitting start, if you hit the question mark block, then the little car or the little arrow that indicates where you are becomes a little Mario Kart. That's kind of fun. Although it's like exactly the same as as usual, Google navigation. As I said, it's a small thing.
But I mean, like, why?
For the kids.
What kid do you have that's using? You know what? Never mind. I'm not asking any more questions
It's
because
fun.
just-
Also, I guess Super Mario Run on iOS and Android is 50% off until March 25th. So that's the fun little thing to soften the blow of Days Gone being delayed to 2019.
Oh no! A game I didn't care about got delayed. That's not good. That's awful. That's awful.
And then the big thing, which was all the Nintendo Direct stuff that happened.
Eh.
So,
I stopped
lots
hearing
more
about-
ports. Captain Toad is coming to Switch and 3DS. With like a few added stages, I guess, from Super Mario Odyssey. The Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is going to be on Switch
Ooh.
and PC and Xbox One, which we learned later. There's going to be a network test for Dark Souls before it releases on Switch. And also there's going to be a Dark Souls amiibo. It's a knight in the Praise the Sun pose.
Is it Solitaire? That guy. That guy.
That guy.
I need to buy it.
I want that amiibo. I'm not going to get Dark Souls for Switch, but so that'll be like one of the rare amiibos I get that I don't plan on using for the game.
I mean, I don't even have a Switch and I'm getting one, so there's that.
Wow. I can't believe you two. I can't believe you two.
In my defense, I love Dark Souls. He has no
Part
excuse.
Of the problem.
He has no excuse. I love
like-
the series.
I like little statues.
He likes little statues. Let him have this, Tekken. Let him have this.
Octopath Traveler has a release date, July 13th.
Oh wait, is that Switch only or?
Yep.
That is Switch only.
For now.
No, I don't have a Switch.
For
F you
now.
Nintendo. F you in the B.
They are remaking the original Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS.
I saw that.
Like, why isn't that on Switch? That makes me sad.
why is
That would
on-
make
on
more
Switch?
sense.
Original concept of that.
Yeah. There was that 3DS game they announced, Sushi Striker. It's also going to be on Switch now. I'm pretty excited for that one.
You would be.
There was a date, but I guess not. What else?
Nobody suspects a thing.
There was there's going to be paid DLC for Splatoon 2.
Ooh.
It's a single player expansion called.
Come on, be a pun. Be a pun.
I think you're going to be disappointed.
Oh.
Splatoon 2 Octo expansion.
Well, that's not. It's fine.
And then we got to see Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, which is kind of cool. He gets sucked into a game console, the Death Machine 2.
Seems legit.
It's funny. That system is what you play Let It Die on in Let It Die, but the first one.
Interessante. Interessante indeed. Although I didn't see, was there a trailer for it? Because I couldn't find.
Yeah, there was video for it.
Because I was trying to find it. I was like, oh no, they showed stuff and I wasn't here.
It looks
My life is out of order.
like very varied.
Interesting.
And then finally at the end, they announced that Super Smash Bros. Is coming to Nintendo Switch in 2018. And will apparently have the Splatoon characters in it. And that's all we know about that one. We saw a pre-rendered video. Squid Boy and Squid Girl shooting at each other, and then the Smash Brothers logo.
Oh yeah, that must have been scary. It's like we're just minding our own business, and now everybody wants to beat the crap out of us. Welcome to Smash Brothers.
I missed these. Sorry. WarioWare for 3DS, new game. WarioWare Gold, and Okami HD is coming to Switch in the summer.
You can't follow up Smash Brothers with that. What's wrong with you?
Mario Tennis Aces. It's coming out in June, and
that one I was excited about because I was like, "Oh my gosh, a Mario Tennis game!" I enjoy the Mario Tennis games. They're fun. They're fun. And if you don't like them, then GTFO. That's my response to that.
Cool. So that's what I had. Did you have other news?
Nope.
Are you using a hunting horn?
Yeah. I only use it in this challenge, though. Or this arena.
Yes, I used a hunting horn to
Sounds like
find the
most
news.
Damage.
Not you. I was talking about Tekken. Because he's using one in this arena fight. It's like, well, that's weird.
Boop, boop.
So,
All right. I guess I'll close it out then, because we're busy hunting.
No. You can't close us out.
All right. I heard Tekken. He was about to do it.
So yeah. Until you see this. Or wait, hold up. What do you get? Or wow,
Wait,
wow. I completely
what?
fed up. Anything to say before we sign off? RPG.
What was even that? What was even that?
Well, my wires are crashed in a monster and I can't help it. Okay.
Oh my
Concentrating
gosh.
on
Well,
other things.
uncross them.
I was gonna
Anybody got
say,
time for
check
your
us out
nonsense?
on blah 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 blah. And then I was like, wait a minute, do I say that first or do I say wait? I don't. Well, yeah.
You do say that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. But then I was like going into sign off mode because I was like, wait a minute, that's not the right words. Anywho, check us out, AimlessLZ, or wait, no, aimlesspodcast.com, YouTube, Facebook,
Wow,
Twitter,
get it together.
all the
Get it
things
together,
on there,
Tekken.
places and stuff. And yeah, anything to say before we sign off, RPG?
Well, Kingdom Hearts.
Anything to say before we sign off, Tropical?
Burnout Paradise.
Alright, so yeah, that's it for this episode of Aimless Babble Z. Until you hear from us again, Monster Hunter is pretty awesome. You should check it out. And we're now signing off.